Have you ever applied for a job where you knew you were qualified, but somehow your resume seemed to just disappear? No rejection, no interview, no response, just silence. For a lot of professionals, today it feels like their application never even existed. And in many cases, that feeling is actually correct. Because before a recruiter ever opens your resume, your application is often being evaluated, filtered, and ranked by hiring systems first. And those systems are making decisions based on signals most job seekers never see. So in this video, I want to pull back the curtain on something that very few people explain clearly: how hiring systems actually rank resumes, and why some candidates get surfaced to recruiters while others quietly get pushed out of visibility. Once you understand how this ranking works, the entire hiring process starts to make a lot more sense. Before we jump in, if you're new here, my name is Dr. Chuks Agada, and on this channel, I help experienced professionals navigate the hidden dynamics of modern hiring. We talk about things like AI in recruiting, background checks, reference checks, resume screening systems, and the behind-the-scenes decisions most candidates never see. If that sounds helpful for your career journey, consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. All right, let's talk about resume ranking. One of the biggest misunderstandings about hiring today is this idea that resumes are either accepted or rejected. But that's not actually how most hiring systems work anymore. In many modern applicant tracking systems, what people often call ATS platforms, your resume isn't just being screened, it's being ranked. Think of it less like a pass-fail test and more like how Amazon ranks products or how Google ranks search results. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of applicants may apply for a role. Recruiters simply don't have time to review all of them. So the system helps prioritize which candidates should appear at the top of the list. In other words, the system decides who becomes visible first. And that's where many candidates get stuck. They may technically qualify for the role, but the signals in their resume push them lower in the ranking, which means a recruiter might never even scroll far enough to see them. So let's walk through some of the key signals that influence how resumes get ranked. The first signal, and probably the most well-known, everyone talks about it, is keyword alignment. When a job description is created, the system identifies important skills, qualifications, and terminology associated with the role. Your resume is then compared against those signals. The more alignment the system sees between your resume and the job description, the stronger the match appears. But this isn't just about stuffing keywords into your resume. Most modern systems analyze context, not just repetition. For example, if a job description emphasizes program management, cross-functional leadership, stakeholder engagement, and your resume describes similar work using very different language, the system may not recognize the connection as strongly. This is why two resumes describing nearly identical experience can rank very differently. One mirrors the language used in the job posting, the other doesn't. The result? One appears higher in the recruiter's search results. The other quietly moves down the list. Now, another factor many candidates overlook is job title alignment. Hiring systems often evaluate how closely your previous titles align with the title being hired for. For example, if a company is hiring for a director of operations, the system may prioritize resumes that include titles like director, head of operations, senior operations leader, over titles that are less directly related, even if the underlying responsibilities are similar. This doesn't mean candidates with different titles are automatically rejected, but it can influence where they appear in the ranking. And since recruiters often review candidates from the top of the list downward, small differences in title alignment can affect who gets seen first. The next ranking signal is recency. Hiring systems often prioritize experience that appears recent and active. For example, If a role requires experience with data analytic tools, cloud platforms, or certain management frameworks, the system may weigh experience from the past few years more heavily than experience from 10 or 15 years ago. That doesn't mean older experience isn't valuable, but the system is often trying to determine whether a candidate's skills appear current and actively used. This is one reason why resumes that clearly highlight recent accomplishments and responsibilities tend to perform better in ranking systems. They show the system that the candidate's capabilities are still relevant to today. Quick question for you. When you've applied for jobs recently, have you ever had the feeling that your resume never even made it to a human recruiter? Maybe you were clearly qualified, but you never heard anything back? If that's happened to you, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're not sure whether systems are filtering your applications, drop a 2. I read the comments on this channel, and I'm always curious to hear what people are experiencing in the current hiring market. And if you're finding value in this video, tap the like button. It will reach other professionals who could benefit from this type of content. Now, here's something that many candidates don't realize. Recruiters don't always review applications by opening them one at a time. Often they use search filters inside the ATS system. They might search for candidates who have specific certifications, certain technical tools, management experience, industry keywords. The system then surfaces the candidates whose resume match those filters closely, which means visibility can depend heavily on how easily your resume can be discovered through those searches. If your experience is described clearly and uses commonly recognized language, you're more likely to appear in those searches. But if your resume uses very unique terminology or vague descriptions, you might technically qualify for the role, yet still remain hidden in the database. Another signal that can influence ranking is how structured and complete the resume appears to the system. Hiring systems analyze things like job titles, company names, dates of employment, education, skills sections. If that information is clearly organized and easy to interpret, the system can evaluate the resume more confidently. But if formatting is unusual or sections are difficult for the system to parse, some of that information may not register correctly. This is why very complicated resume formatting sometimes backfires. What looks visually impressive to a human reader can sometimes confuse automated parsing systems. Clear, structured resumes tend to perform better in ranking environments. The final factor isn't about your resume alone. It's about the competition in the applicant pool. When hundreds of candidates apply for the same role, the system must prioritize. Even small differences in alignment, experience signals, or keyword matching can shift candidates slightly higher or lower. And when recruiters begin reviewing candidates, they often start with the top results first, which means someone might not be rejected at all. They simply never rise high enough in the ranking to be reviewed. This is what many candidates describe as being ranked out of visibility. Now, here's the most important takeaway from all of this. These systems are not necessarily deciding who gets the job, but they are often influencing who gets seen first. And visibility matters because once a recruiter engages with a candidate, human judgment takes over. Your story, your accomplishments, your leadership experience, those things still matter enormously. But understanding how these ranking signals work can help ensure that your resume is positioned in a way that actually gets surfaced. If you're navigating a job search right now and trying to understand how these systems are affecting your visibility, I've created additional resources that break down the modern hiring process in more detail. You can find those at careercalibration.co. The goal is to help professionals approach their job search more strategically, especially in a hiring landscape that is increasingly shaped by technology. And if you found this video helpful, I recommend watching this video next, where I explain how AI actually reads and screens your resume before recruiters see them. It pairs perfectly with today's conversation about ranking and visibility. And finally, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and comment below. See you next time. Over and out.